This is Kristina from Stuttgart. Greeting. This is my course. We are here in Stuttgart. Say hello. Oh yeah, and the course will be in English. Yeah. So this is my course, and now my screen is not shared. A second. Maybe you can show faces just for saying hello for the beginning. Okay, let's see. Where is Alejandro, Estefania, Maria, Manuel, Carmen, Angela? Come show your face for the first 2 minutes, and then you can turn off your camera. Thank you, Elias. You're a good guy. And Vyakoslav also. Thank you for showing your screen and your face so that we know who are we working together today. Probably the others from Spain and Croatia are a bit shy. It's okay. I will just show again my course here in Germany so you don't feel too shy. So look at them. They're all happy to be here. One is joining now. Okay. So, how is this working? We are doing this course in 3 universities now. I think it's in Croatia, in Split, and in Malaga in Spain, and we're sitting here in Stuttgart. This will be a course about problem exploration and customer discovery, as I heard from your teachers as well, that you're working on your business ideas. My course is also working on their business ideas. They're pretty new to the business, as I know you are too. So this first course will be about the exploration of the problem you're tackling, and we will take a deep dive into the customer discovery. I will just do my course here in Stuttgart with the students here, and you will just follow along. There's some tasks you will do, we will do all together, and then we will stop the exchange, and you will work on the tasks yourselves, and I will go working on the task with my course here in Stuttgart. Maybe 2 or 3 words about myself. I'm Kristina Coric. I'm teaching at the University of Media in Stuttgart. I've been doing this since 5 years. I worked with a lot of startup teams in the last 5 years, from beginning and scratching the first idea to actually developing a business model which is working. And yeah, in the past few years, I've been working with a lot of teams, and I have some experience in that part. Especially the ideation part and the validation part are the things I'm mostly excited about, and that's the thing I'm teaching here at Media University in Stuttgart. And I hope I can teach you 1 or 2 things you will keep in mind while validating your business ideas. So now I'll just start sharing my screen so that you can follow. Do you see my PowerPoint presentation with the title Advanced, the ones in Zoom? I would need a noise feedback.
Yes, we see.
Perfect. Thank you, Elias. You're the one. Now I know your name, and everyone knows your name. You're the one to count on today. Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Elias. Okay, I will just start with the course, and you follow along. If there's any questions from Malaga or Split, just feel free to speak directly, because I won't be able to check the chat during giving this presentation. So if you have any questions, just ask along. Okay. So now we're starting the course in Stuttgart also. And I want to start with one picture. Is this working? Okay. Do you know what this is? Yeah, I'm asking you guys here in the room. Do you know what this is? Yeah. Yeah, you go. An MRI machine, yeah. Has any one of you guys ever been in an MRI machine? Who has? Okay, can you tell us about your experience? It was not good, he says. Okay.
Very claustrophobic, very loud, and very anxiety inducing.
Okay, claustrophobic, loud, and anxiety producing. I'm just repeating it so they hear. Okay, thank you for your feedback. What else? Who raised their hands? Yeah, yeah.
But it was just my hand, so I didn't have to go all the way in it. So it was fine. It was like every other doctor appointment, but it was very loud.
Okay, yeah. So for him, it was pretty okay to be inside of the tube. How about you, Lisa?
But also pretty loud, and especially for kids, it could be scary. So maybe you could improve just by painting the eye.
Okay, thank you. Who else? More experiences? Yeah.
Was inside my head, so it was really horrible because it was just this close space, and it was it was okay.
How's when you go in with your head, you have to go with your whole body?
Yes.
Ah.
So it was like between my belly, I was inside. Thing.
Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like this is not such a great experience to be inside of this MRI tube. I've never experienced it, so I think I'm pretty lucky. So okay, it's an experience you had. Did someone use this thing when they were a child? No. Can you imagine how it would feel as a child to be trapped in an MRI machine when you have to hold still very much? Yeah, you can imagine. Okay, this was actually the task for Doug Diaz. He's an industrial designer for GE Healthcare. They're producing MRI machines. And they were finding out that a lot of children are pretty scared of going into the MRI machine, but sometimes it's very necessary to use an MRI machine, even on kids. So what his boss told him was, Doug, please think of ideas how to rearrange MRI machines, or how to develop and improve MRI machines to make them better and more suitable for kids. So that was Doug's tasks. But I want to ask you, how would you proceed if that was your task? If you were Doug, what would you do? Yeah.
To draw like the best possible dream machine, whatever, in order to have the same results. So to have like an idea of their execution.
So ask kids to do a prototype of what they wish. Okay, thank you. What do you think?
Maybe something like spaceship.
Okay, so you have a solution already. That's the first thing you would do. Just
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
okay. Thank you. Yeah, you raised your hand.
MRI machine, and then look where we can change them so it would still work, but would still be a good experience for children.
Okay, so you would go with the feasibility and see if the technical side is working. Okay. What else, Antonia?
Yeah, talk to children what they're really afraid of first, like is it like closeness, or what are they afraid of, what's happening if they're in there, to really find out what they're, what is the biggest problem for them.
Yeah. So finding out what the kids are actually feeling before and while being inside of such a machine, or what they're afraid of. Okay. Other ideas? Okay. So that's what you would do. And I want to show you what Doug did when he was confronted with this task. First of all, he began observing the children, not even speaking to them, just observing them, what they're like, what they do, how they're feeling, and what they are doing in the day centers where there's no MRI machine even close. Then he started to observe what the process looks like when the children were put into an MRI machine, how they behaved, what their reaction was when they saw the MRI machine. And yeah, we're still in this observing part. Then he spoke to child specialists because he focused really only on the children who he was about to develop something. And he spoke to them and to the parents and asked them what the kids were going through when they were using this machine. And in the end, he started talking to children and interviewing them and seeing what they are afraid of, what they like, just what like Antonia said. So what was Doug doing in the end? He was trying to go through a human-centered design process. He focused totally on the children who he was designing for. And his first attempt was not to, like maybe the first thought would be just give a solution. His first attempt was to think about what exactly is the problem, what are people experiencing when they're faced with the problem, and how could I solve this problem in the next step. But first of all, do the groundwork and find out what the problem exactly is. So in all of his studies and all of his research, he found out some basic stuff about kids, but which inspired him to do a solution which is worth trying. So he found out that children love stories and they love when they are actually involved in processes. You maybe experienced that already when you have kids. They always want to do what the adults are doing. They always want to know exactly how something is working and what exactly is happening around them. And they love to play and learn. So this is the conclusions he got out of his observations and his interviews. And then he thought, okay, what can I do with this? And you may have gotten the hint with this little treasure box next to the text I have here. He thought of a little story where the children become pirate kings, and the children are on a hunt and a seek. And one of their missions is to actually get into the MRI machine, to be very still and standing, to earn a treasure they would get in the end when they finished their journey through the MRI. And it's not only the MRI machine, which was designed in a different way. There was a whole story developed for the kids who were made to go into the MRI machine. Afterwards, most of the kids were not at all afraid. They all liked going into the MRI machine. And this was only possible because Doug thought about what's important to the kids, what makes them scared, and what could change that. So what I just described is basically a design thinking process. Who of you guys already worked with design thinking? Okay. Most of the course. So just for those who haven't worked with it, I will explain it, and for those who have worked with it, I will explain it in a short way, and so you just have a little refresher on your minds. So design thinking is an approach which aims to solve problems and develop new ideas, as we saw. Doug was going through that process, and we aim to find solutions that are convincing for the user. So we're always focusing on the person who will in the end use the product we're developing. And this is our main source of information. And this is the ones we actually have to know very well to find a solution which fits their needs, wishes, and desires. So when we look at the process of design thinking, there's always a separation between two rooms. We have one room, which is the problem room, and then we have a solution room. It's always divided in two different segments. So in the first part, This is the problem room. We're trying to be understanding of the group of people we are working for. We have to develop empathy for the people we want to solve the problem for. And we have to get to know the problem field very well so that we have a good expertise on what do the people need that we are developing a solution for. And once we have a good overview of the problem field and of the people we are solving the problem for, then we move to the solution room, because then we gathered so many informations needed for developing a good solution that then we start to think about how could a possible solution for these people look like. And in that part, we will find ideas that are matching the problem. We will start prototyping our ideas to see if they're feasible and to see how people would react to those prototypes. And this is also the last part, the testing, that we bring our prototypes to the people who should use them, or we think they want to use them, and they give us feedback on if this prototype and this product we are presenting is actually something they would like to use, and in the end also purchase, because you as founders have the ambition to make products that people buy so you can survive. Okay. So in the end, this is design thinking in a nutshell. I think it's pretty easy to understand. But the thing about design thinking is actually that it becomes kind of a mindset for founders, that you, first of all, always think of your customer group. And the second thing in design thinking, which is really important, is that we're on an ongoing journey to validate all of the assumptions we're doing in the problem room and also in the solution room. So everything we come up with, every assumption we're having, we have to bulletproof either with our customer group or with research we're gathering to really find out if the problem and the solution are worth working on. So what does that mean for us in this startup journey we're currently on? It means that we have to fall in love with the problem and not with the solution. So this is my biggest goal for the next 3 weeks. We will work together in this course. I really want you to understand if the problem you're working on is first worth solving, and second, is that good and that exciting that you're falling in love with it and you're totally excited about solving this problem. Okay, I think this sounds pretty logical, but I wanted to bring you one example or two examples, one good example and one rather bad example, to show you what it means if you actually love your problem or not. Okay, so I brought you an example for the Split and Split and Malaga people. It's pretty hard to understand why I brought two guys in pink shirts or in black shirts with pink background to this course. But I'm hoping that some of the German students know this example and know what happened there, and maybe can tell the course what happened here. Yeah. It's Dragon's Den. I Googled, I didn't know. Shark Tank, yeah.
Shark Tank, Dragon's Den, and in Germany it's Höhle der Löwen. I think the startup of what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. They pitched their startup idea. Does anyone know more about this? Yeah, Tim.
They're getting this, but they're not really they got a lot of shit.
Okay.
They found something for the tourists, okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have some vague remembering of the scandal these two guys provoked. Does anyone else know what happened? Or a bit more concrete than Tim?
Was it a glove?
Excuse me?
A glove.
It was a glove, yeah, true. Do you have some?
Yeah, I think it was just a regular thin glove, but they marketed it as like the solution to deal with sanitary or period products, and which in itself doesn't really makes sense because I don't know, people have been dealing with that problem for many, many years, and no one was really convinced that what they brought to the table would be a big improvement and not just a very big generator of plastic waste.
Yeah, thank you. It's a very good summary. Yeah.
And also these guys invented the glove to not really disgusting about the period, and that's the totally opposite of what also is the intention, like to change the mindset that period isn't disgusting. So it's like a faith.
Mm-hmm. So they pretty much offended like half the population of Germany with this. Yeah, it's just a very good example for two founders who supposedly didn't do their homework very well. They developed a glove, as you said. It was a pink glove because women only like pink products. That's what they assumed. And this glove was there to exchange your hygiene products when you're on your period. And they assumed that women are disgusted by touching their blood when they exchange their hygiene products. And because this is so disgusting, the good solution for this is to give women a plastic glove, packed each one by one packed, to each time when they go to the toilet and exchange their hygiene products, that they should put on this glove to do this, because otherwise it's very unhygienic and disgusting. So this was the product, and the very crazy thing about it is that the jurors, like the lions or the sharks or whatever they are in your country, they actually invested, or they wanted to invest in this startup idea. And these two guys, they were exposed to one of the biggest shitstorms this series ever produced, because once a lot of women heard about this product and what they were thinking about menstruating and the period and how disgusting it was, they fell out of business within 2 days. So this startup is dead now, and I think it shows pretty well how assumptions you make over your customer, not proving them and going out with a product, shows a lack of love towards your problem. Because you actually have to get to know this customer group before you just put products on the market. You see, this is just a bullshit product nobody needs. It's just irrelevant. If they asked at least 5 women before going to this TV show, they would have known that this product is bullshit. But they were in such a hubris with their idea and with the market potential they saw that they went through with it, even though nobody needs such a product. And I, for myself, from my part, I really want to you not become them. Yeah. So this is my aim for this course, that you don't become Pinky Gloves 2.0. Okay. And we were going to do a lot of thinking so you don't become them. So you actually talk to your potential customers and you really bulletproof the assumptions you're right now making about your product and your customer group and the market and competitors and everything else which we need to develop a business. Okay, So for me, the question now is, of course, do you have an understanding of the underlying problem you are going to solve during the next months? And I want to just to make you fill out a problem canvas. It's a pretty easy and simple tool, but we can use it to have a better understanding on what we're working on, and as a team also understand what exactly the problem is we're working on. And as you see, it's divided into 6 quadrants. And first of all, we're gonna fill out the first 4 quadrants, which are, first of all, the context. So here you describe what, in which kind of situation, in what kind of context, the problem you want to tackle is actually occurring. And be vivid and describe it in a lot of keywords, so that we really feel included in the context where your problem is happening. Okay? Then, of course, you will describe your problem. What exactly are you going to solve with the potential solution you're already having in mind? How does this problem exactly look like? And describe it not only with 1 sentence, but go deep. We will walk around and see how deep you're going with this. I really want to see if you have a good understanding of your problem field. Then, who is the affected target group? On one hand, we have, you will have to write down the person who actually has the problem. So don't describe people who will potentially pay for the product or whatever. Just describe the people who are suffering from your problem. And I want to see if they're actually suffering or if it's just a luxury problem. Okay? So who is affected by your problem field? And then what's the emotional impact? So what is the emotional impact on the people who are suffering from that problem? What are they feeling? Are they frustrated? Are they depressed? Do they feel like nothing works anymore if they don't get this problem solved? Okay? I know there's some luxury problems also in the courses, but still get a feel of who you are working for. Who is the person you want to solve a problem for, and describe them very, very deeply in this sheet. Okay, we will take at least half an hour to fill out the problem canvas. You will first of all do these 4 quadrants, and then we will move on to the next quadrants after this half hour. Okay, and the same is for the people in Split and Malaga. I will send you the problem canvas, and then you can work in your teams half an hour on this problem canvas to get a better understanding on where your team is standing right now. Yes?
We have to say in this room, or can we spread out?
You can spread out, yeah. I brought you paper here. You just copy what's on the canvas, and then you can go out and share your thoughts. Okay, that's it for the next half hour. Okay, welcome back. I hope you found a lot of interesting assumptions you wrote down in your problem canvas. As I was walking around, I still see that there is a lot of problems you're writing down. Some of them are pretty vague right now. There is a lot of different sub-problems inside or on your canvases, which is not a problem at this point. But the further we get with the validation process, the more specific your problem canvas will get. So this is a work in progress, the problem canvas, and it should be revisited often to see what is changing when we're actually starting to validate the assumptions were just put down on the canvas. So The next task I would like you to do is to find a partner who is not in your team, one person, and you will explain to this other person in 3 to 4 minutes what exactly the problem is you're working on. And you can use the problem canvas. You will talk about the context, the problem, the affected group, and the emotional impact. You will have exactly 4 minutes to do so that you are not likely to just go on talking and talking about your problem, just to get a little bit more specific what your understanding of your problem right now is. And the other person will write down questions. And after the 4 minutes of presenting your problem, the other person will ask you some questions and stuff they didn't understand, and how they're feeling about your problem. Is that clear? Okay, so each one of you finds a partner, and I will take the time. Okay, so how is it to talk about your problem for the first time to a stranger? What did you experience? Yeah, Tim.
I think notice that there may be some concurrents,
Competitors?
competitors I have not on the screen.
Okay. What else? Yeah.
The questions that my partner asked were quite similar to the ones that we're already considering as problems, so it kind of confirmed for me that we were on the right path.
Okay.
According to the next steps and what we have to make more effort on. Yeah.
Cool. Other reactions? Did you find out something new about your problem?
Not really.
Not really.
Because I didn't finish.
Oh, okay. That's unfortunate. Yeah.
Ask questions that weren't related to the product itself, but to the problem.
Why is that? Was there something wrong with the problem, so you didn't understand the problem, or? Yeah, I get that a lot when we do the design thinking and really strictly do the problem room and the solution room. It's very hard to stay only in the problem room, because you're seeking for a solution, probably the solution you want to make happen. But to really prove that the solution is relevant, you first have to prove that the problem is relevant. Otherwise, it makes no sense to build the problem, build the solution. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
We talked about that it would be interesting in having some numbers, how much people are suffering from the problem. Yeah.
Okay, so there's some questions you have to find out as a group, which came from talking about your problem only. Okay. Okay, that's some findings, and it's actually good findings, because this is every question that came up that you couldn't answer, you should be able to answer in a few weeks from now, because then you will be an expert in your field. And as I want to state now, there will be a little input session on have you really and clearly understood the problem you're working on. And my feeling right now is that you have kind of a feeling for what you're dealing with, but not everything is clear so far. And I have this nice picture where it seems like you have understood your problem. And I think most of you understood it on the surface, but actually, I think your brains look like the picture underneath. Because it looks like we have understood the problem probably, but when we start thinking about the problem really and going deep into it, we realize that we actually don't know that much about the problem field yet. There's maybe some research we have to do. There's people we have to talk to. And how will we get there that we finally have an understanding of what the problem is, so we can achieve building very good products to solve this problem. And I'm standing there with Ernesto Ciroli, and I think he said some very wise words. He said, if you want to help someone, it's sometimes good to just shut up and listen. And to listen to people which are not aware of what is happening in your heads and have their own thinking and their own mind. So what I want to encourage you is to actually start talking to people about the problem you want to solve, because in that way you will find out the most about it. So I want to introduce to you the tool of problem interviews. And what are problem interviews? They're here to understand the real core of the problem, not only the surface like we saw in that one picture, but really get to the core. What is annoying the people? What is frustrating them? Why are they looking for a solution? And why are they reaching out to you to solve their problem? You want to get to know better the wishes, the needs, the concerns, maybe the frustrations, and also the expectations your target group has. It's a difference if you build a product for a group of children or a group of adults. It's a difference if you build it for teenagers or people of a higher age. It's a difference if you build it for someone who has a high income or who has a low income. Who actually has your problem and who are you working with? And don't let what happened to the Pinky Gloves happen to you. Obviously, they haven't talked to one woman when they were thinking about their product. And that's something that can't happen. You have to talk to the people who you are developing for. Otherwise, there's no business there. And then what's the most important things about this problem interviews, or what I would call the validation of your problem, is that now you have a lot of assumptions on your canvases. And this is good. This is the first thoughts you have about the problem. This is something you as a group can agree on. But it's only the few people that can agree on these problems. But is it a match with the reality, actually? Do we have a match here? Is other people also thinking like that? Or is it only you as a group thinking like that? And that's something we have to find out. Find out if all of these assumptions you are making, like, oh, these people have a problem with that, and they have low income, and they are seeking for something to solve their problem. Is that real, or is it only in your heads? And this is something we have to prove. And this is something we will have to prove throughout the next 3 weeks. And we will make sure that all of the assumptions we're having on our canvases are actually matching with reality. And you will find all of these hypotheses you're having on your canvases. And also in the questions you were just asked by people you were telling about the problem. So you will have to go through your canvases once again in the next weeks and really find what are the hypotheses that are important for our product to work in the end. What are we building this product on? Is there actually something worth solving? And we have to check all of these hypotheses in our canvases to make sure that nothing like Pinky Gloves awaits us in the future. We don't want to be that startup that didn't do their homework, I would call it, and didn't ask themselves if people are actually seeking for a solution of that problem you're tackling. And if not, then we will have to go through a process of changing the problem, finding a more relevant problem, maybe in the same problem field, maybe in another problem field, but actually making sure that we're not building bullshit. Okay? So this is not the normal course in university where you can just pretend to build something and then in the end you give a presentation and then it's for the rubbish. I don't care about projects like that. I don't want to work on stuff like that. I want to work on real life projects to make sure that if you want to continue after this course, you can actually continue and it's not bullshit. So you will go out and talk to people about your problem field and validate if that what you think is actually matching the reality. So what are you asking people when you go out to do a problem interview? I brought you a structure for problem interviews, and this is something you will have to prepare before you go out to talk to people. So first of all, you will obviously say who you are and what you want to talk about, and have a short summarize of what the context is you're talking about. Make sure this is all about the problem. We're not talking about solutions until next month, okay? I don't care what your solutions in your head are right now. First of all, convince me that the problem you're solving is actually a problem, okay? And then we will talk about solutions. And maybe the solution you have in your mind is the perfect solution for that. And if not, we will work on a better solution for the problem, okay? So this is the first part. You will tell them what you're doing, okay? And now Siroli comes in. You shut up. Your mouth is closed. You're just asking questions from that point on. What is their experience in that context? What is their problem? What hypotheses you have in your problem canvas can you bring into the conversation so that you make sure that you have a fit with reality? So prepare yourselves for these interviews. Divide in between your group which hypotheses who will validate while you're out and talking to people. You have some there on your papers. Make sure that you find a lot of questions you really want to prove that they're valid in the real world. And after you checked all of your assumptions, you want to check with the people you're interviewing. Start asking them if they see other problems. Maybe there's something on the radar you haven't seen yet or you're not aware of. But once you talk to people in your problem field, they will maybe point you to problems which you never had in mind, but which are very relevant for the whole group. So stay open and let them lead you. Maybe there's something you haven't thought of yet, but which will, in the end, be defining for your solution. Okay? And what's always good is to ask how they're dealing with the problem right now, because for you is competitors' research. So you don't have to do the research yourself. You can ask them what they're using right now to solve the problem. And so you can fill out this one part of the problem canvas with them helping you finding stuff like that out. Okay, so this is the big interview part, the question, the part 4 to 7. And then you can tell them that you're working on a project. Maybe it's people who will use the product. Maybe it's people who will, in the end, pay for the product. Sometimes you have 2 or 3 customer groups, some other stakeholders which are involved into the problem field. So make sure you're asking different people to really make sure which core problem you want to solve as a group. And if you have someone interesting there, then tell them that you're working on this, and if you can contact them later. It could be a very good lead later if you search for pilot companies where you can do pilot testing. Okay. Most of the time, people will point you to other people who have knowledge in that field also. So make sure you do some network work here. And if necessary or interesting, then collect personal data so that you can, for example, make sure this is the age group we want to tackle, or this is the educational status of the people we're looking for. So try out, interview different people, and see where it leads you. Okay, the closer you look, you will take a look at your canvas, and all of the hypotheses you will have to validate, you will find underneath the problem. So this is everything you're now imagining is the problem, but we have to find out if the people are actually feeling that there is a problem. Okay. I have one cool example on how to do this. You can watch this at home And before you do your first interview, make sure to listen what Justin Wilcox is saying about this topic. I think it's a good summary before you go into the first interview. Then, who do you ask? As I said, there's different people which are affected by your problem and which can prove if there's a reality there or not. You will find that in the target group or in the people affected in your canvas. So as a group, make a list of people you want to interview about this topic. Experts, people suffering from that, so that you become expert of your problem field. Okay, how do I ask? This is very important. You're talking to real people outside of university. Don't overrun them with questions. Let them tell stories. As I said, you shut up, you listen, you just let them go with the flow and just get into talking. From that, you will gain the most information. Ask about their emotions. The more frustrated and depressed they are, the better for you. That means that you found a problem which is worth solving because the frustration is very high. And if they can't name competitors as well, then you're going full right. Okay, this is great. If there is a lot of frustration, if there is a lot of pain, then this is something you can build on. Ask open questions. Don't ask questions where you can answer with yes and no. That will bring you nowhere. People tend to be very kind, and if you ask them a yes and no question, they tend to say the answer you want to hear. So from that, you don't gain anything. So leave them out. Formulate briefly and ask one question at a time. I know this is sometimes hard because you're in love with your problem, I hope, already. But make sure that you only ask one question so the person can really get to the point. And then your biggest weapon is the question why. So use this as often as possible. Don'ts. What you will do in the next weeks is problem interviews. So we're staying in the problem room of the design thinking process. Please don't mix that up with the solution you're having in your mind right now. Don't serve solutions to the interviewee. If the person suggests some solution, which might be something similar you were thinking about or something totally else, take a note, but don't go there. You're there to prove that the problem is relevant, okay? And it's not a sales pitch. We will do user testing. We will do solution interviews where you can ask if people like your product later. But now we're focusing on the problem only, okay? This video is very cool on that. I suggest you watch it before you do your first interview. And then how to summarize the findings. I also found a cool method here. You can watch it yourselves. I don't want to bore you with that. As soon as you have, or watch it before you do the first interview so that you know what you will write down during the interview. My pro tip, do the interviews in pairs of 2, if possible. One person talking, the other person taking notes. It's always easier like that. If that's somehow feasible, do it like that. If not, do the interview yourselves with another person. Yeah.
Are we allowed to do the interviews online and just record them?
Yeah, of course. Just however you get information. I don't care. Okay. So, this is the tasks for everyone, not only the students here in Stuttgart, but also in Split and Malaga, whoever is still there. What you will have to do in the next few weeks to actually start working on your product is, first of all, describe a specific and relevant problem in your problem canvases and make sure that there is something there where it's worth to work on. Then you will have to prepare interviews and prove that there's real problems and the customers are validating your assumptions in the way you want them to be validated. And in the end, you should do a lot of research on your problem area. no one will invest in you if they think you're talking bullshit and you don't know nothing about the problem. If that's so, people will just think, okay, this is a nice uni project, but this person is not committed. So you will have to be experts in your fields. You will be experts in migration. You will start being experts in online gaming. You in bijouterie, I don't know what's the word in English, whatever. You may be in protein power bars and fitness appliance or something else, who knows? So you see, you will have to be the ones, we believe, that you are the right people to solve this problem because you have a good knowledge about it. Yeah. The last thing for the whole group is, I just want you to keep this in mind. Fall in love with the problem, not with the solution. Otherwise, you will end up like pinky gloves. And this is my last words to the ones all over Europe who are still listening. And with this, I conclude this call. And I say goodbye. You can stop recording. And yeah, greetings to Split and Malaga. Some of you guys I will see in Split. Bye-bye.